In this video, I'm going to be ranking the top 10 best cards right now in NBA 2K23 My Team. You guys can let me know in the comment section down below what you guys would change about my top 10. Maybe let me know your guys' top 10 best cards in the game, top 5. And yeah, just let me know what you guys would change about it. But coming in at my number 10 spot, we have a very controversial one to start off with at number 10, and that is going to be Invincible LeBron. I know tons of people would choose many different cards over LeBron, and that's perfectly fine. I just think personally, he is the second best shooting guard in the game, but I know a lot of people would take Tim Thomas. They'd maybe even take Terry Dishinger. You know, other guys like Carmelo Anthony, they take over, maybe AK. So many other cards I know people would take over LeBron. For me personally, I think he's the second best shooting guard and one of the best cards in the game, but don't think everybody has to agree with it. It's just my opinion. So that's why I'm asking you guys to let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions and what you guys would change about my top 10. So who would you guys put in at the number 10 spot over LeBron? Definitely curious to hear, because LeBron, I think for me personally, is really good, but I know some people might not be the best with him or don't like him too much. Perfectly understand that. But yeah, LeBron 6'9" at the 2, 7-foot wingspan. I just think his size, his defense, I actually like his jump shot. Like, I can play pretty good with LeBron just because I've been using him for years, and I feel like I'm always pretty decent with his My Team cards. So for me, definitely is a lot of bias, but I just think for me personally, he's the 10th best card in the game. At the number 9 spot though, I do have Dark Matter Chet. A really good card in the game. Obviously, everybody in this top 10 are some of the best cards in the game. Chet though, I wasn't like super impressed by at small forward. I still think he's the second best small forward in the game, right behind a guy we'll talk about here in a second, but I think Chet's still really good. 7 foot at small forward. I think in game he's 7'1", but on here he says he's 7 foot, so I'm not exactly sure. 7'6" wingspan though, has a pretty good player model. Obviously, like I said, gonna be one of the best cards in the game. I just wasn't super impressed by his jump shot or his dribble sigs. Like, he can move pretty well, his jump shot's okay, and I feel like his defense was pretty mediocre for how good he probably should have been on the defensive end. So for me personally, I do have Chet at the number 9 spot. As my 8th best card in the game is gonna be Pink Diamond Taco. I still think you gotta have this card in the top 10 just because he's a 7'6" power forward, 8'2" wingspan, one of the more dominant cards in the game on defense and offense. He's still a great masher, he can dominate down low, and he's still a great paint defender against all of those tall giants in the game, like my number 7 spot, Yao Ming hero card, right? He's gonna come in at number 7. He's a 7'6" center, 7'9" wingspan, so if you have a card like Taco, you're going to need a Taco Fall to be able to guard a card like Yao Ming. I think Yao is just a little bit better than Taco, has higher speed, a higher 3-ball, I would say more consistent jump shot, or at least can hit threes more consistently, has some better dribble sig. So I think Yao is just a little bit better than Taco. Now Taco can play power forward, so he does have that slight advantage there, that he is 7'6" at power forward, where Yao Ming is 7'6" at the center position. Really interested to see once we get our Invincible Yao. I'm sure he'll be able to play the power forward position, and that could be a lot glitchy as well, because that's why Manute Bol is the best card in the game, because he can play power forward. Yao Ming at center, still one of the best cards in the game. You know, great paint defender, he can mash. He's 7'6". You guys probably know by now why Yao Ming is so good. And then another controversial, I guess you could say, take is that I do have Rick Smith over Yao Ming. Not by a crazy amount. I think they're basically the same center card. Only thing I think Rick Smith does is have a better jump shot. I think Yao might be slightly better on defense, but I do think Rick Smith is the better offensive card. And just because of his jump shot with the KCP base and the Dario Saric jumper on very quick timing, I personally like a lot more compared to Yao Ming's jump shot. I think it's a lot more consistent. I feel like I can green way more consistently with Rick Smith than I can Yao Ming, and I think they pretty much give you the same defense, very similar height, wingspan, player model, all that type of stuff. But if you wanted to put Yao Ming over Rick Smith, I could definitely see that. I got Rick Smith at number 6 though, and Yao Ming at the number 7 spot. Halfway to my list here, guys. At the number 5 spot, I do have the best point guard in the game in the hero Nikola Jokic. I think most people would agree he's the best point guard in the game. I know some people might say Luka or Ben Simmons or maybe another name or two. I can definitely see that, but for me, I think it's got to be Jokic. 6'11" at the 1, 7'3" wingspan. I mean, this card is basically just Ben Simmons with a way better jump shot and way better on offense, because he's still going to give you that great defense. 92 block, 90 steal, 92 perimeter, 94 interior defense. He's got great Hall of Fame badges across the board, but his jump shot is super knockdown with the Eric Paschall base, Oscar Robertson upper on very quick timing. is a great jump shot for a point guard. And then this card's also got pretty good dribble sigs for a 6'11" point guard. He's got Steph Curry size up, he's got the John Wall escape, Dame behind the back, quick drops off one, and front clutches. The one thing you could say is he doesn't have the greatest defensive tendencies in the world, but everything else is so elite for Jokic that I do think he's going to be a top 5 card in the game. At the number 4 spot though, I got Hero Bol Bol, a 7'2" small forward, 7'7" wingspan. I think he's the best small forward in the game. Gotta be somewhere in your top 5. He's one of the best cards because he can legit do everything at such a high level compared to every other card. Because he's 7'2" and he can handle the ball like a guard, he's got the Kyle Lowry size up and the tray escape, some of the best dribble sigs in the game. He moves really well, he's got a decent jump shot, and I will say that's the one thing they could definitely upgrade on his invincible card. If they were to give him some glitchy jump shot, maybe they give him like KPJ base, maybe they give him O'Shea base, Kuzma base, Rudy Gay, something different could definitely make this card a little bit better. If you were to get a faster and just quicker jump shot, I think that's the only thing you can improve, because everything else, and I guess maybe some of his defensive tendencies like the on-ball steal and the pass interception, but everything else about Bol Bol besides his jump shot is some of the best in the game. His stats and his badges, you can't really get too much better. His sigs, you can't really get too much better. He's got great dunk packages. I think it really just comes down to his jump shot. That's the only thing I can really see them upgrading with a card like Bol Bol, or if they were to put him at the point guard position, that's where he could be a lot more overpowered. But coming in at my number 3 spot, I got Invincible T-Mac. I think he's the best shooting guard in the game, and then I think Bol Bol's the best small forward, Jokic the best point guard. So that one's really close between Jokic at 5, Bol Bol at 4, and then T-Mac at 3. That really just comes down to preference. I got T-Mac at the number 3 spot though. He's 6'8" at shooting guard, 7'2" wingspan, and I think he is probably the best offensive card in the game. I would say at least scoring the ball wise, from a three hunting perspective for sure. He's got the KPJ base, Oscar Robertson upper on very quick timing. I think is the fastest or one of the fastest jump shots in the game, and I also do think it's one of the best jump shots. He's got great dribble sigs with the T-Mac size up, the Curry escape, Dame behind the back. He can finish at the rim. Once again, just like Bol Bol, I don't see how you get much better for a Tracy McGrady card, because I guess I could give him better dribble sigs. I guess I could give him like the Steve Francis size up and keep the Curry escape, or maybe give him the Trey. But that's pretty much it. They could maybe give him Trey fade. They could possibly, I guess, upgrade his defensive tendencies, but it's stuff that I don't think you're really going to matter. It's not going to really matter too much in game, and you won't really notice it. So Tracy McGrady is pretty much the perfect shooting guard for now, until we get to those end game or just out of position guys where we got, Yao Ming's at shooting guards, like we got Bol Bol's and Kristaps is at shooting guards. Once we get to that point, then yeah, T-Mac won't be as dominant. But for right now, when like the tallest shooting guard 6'10" or 6'11", I still think T-Mac is the best shooting guard in the game and the 3rd best overall card. At the number 2 spot, I got Invincible Shaq. Once again, very close between Shaq, T-Mac, Bol Bol, Jokic. I think it takes like a little bit of a jump. Like I think it's like Rick Smith, Yao Ming, Taco, all very similar. Chet LeBron similar. And then I think it kind of takes a jump once we get to number 5. Jokic, Bol Bol, T-Mac, Shaq, I think are all in the same kind of tier and are really, really close to each other, where you can rearrange that order however you guys want to. I think it's perfectly fair. Shaq though is a 7'1" power forward, 7'7" wingspan. I just think as a card, he's slightly better. Now, he's not the best power forward in the game, because at my number 1 spot, you guys will see, can also play power forward, but just as a card himself, not at his position, because T-Mac's the best shooting guard, Bol Bol's the best small forward, Jokic is the best point guard, right? Shaq's not the best power forward in the game, but just as a card, I think he's slightly better because he can do everything, and he's 7'1", 325 pounds, one of the best player models in the game. His jump shot super good, his dribble sigs are great, he's got amazing dunk packages, he can mash down low, he can defend the interior, he's got perfect defensive tendencies. I think overall Invincible Shaq got to be somewhere probably in your top 5. For me personally, I think he's the 2nd best card in the game. And then at the number 1 spot, to nobody's surprise, is going to be Dark Matter Manute Bol, a 7'7" center power forward card, like I was talking about with Yao Ming. That is a big thing about Manute Bol, because if this card could only play center, still would most likely be the best card, but it's the fact that he can play power forward as well. So now he can match up against so many smaller power forwards in the game, and now you can run Manute Bol and Yao, you can run Manute Bol and Ralph, or Taco Manute Bol. Like, you can just run so many tall lineups then it makes your opponents have to run even taller people to be able to match up with you, because he's also got an 8'5" wingspan, one of the best player models in the game. And I don't really need to explain the rest. You guys have seen Yao Ming in game if you've used him, played against him, seen him in game. I mean, he's just so overpowered. He can shoot the 3-ball, he can drive, he can defend, he rebounds, he dunks over everybody, block shots, he can test shots. He's unstoppable down low. He's just the best card in the game. But let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Like I said at the start of the video, what you guys would change about my top 10. There's so many great cards in the game that I think there's a ton of different cards that I left out of this top 10 that could definitely be considered. Definitely could be considered a top 10 card in the game. But hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.